Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. It's Eviction Thursday. Oh my goodness. We have so many things to talk about before we get to that eviction. So, our house guests of the day are the T of Texas and Manish Murley. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So, thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Gailsey Kane, Travell K, Dawn MH302, Christine, Wendy Will, and Vincent Campos. Thank you all so much for your super chats. Oh my God, so much has been happening this morning. I feel like I'm gonna throw up or something. It's a lot. It's crazy. I feel like I'm watching an episode of Benny Hill, or I don't even know. It's like to try and keep up with all this. So anyway, before we get into the new stuff, when we left off yesterday, Red and Jag are up on the block, right? We know this. That part's easy. We saw the vote flip against Red on Tuesday, his birthday. Oh, but it's not his birthday anymore, so whatever. But this flip has been holding strong since Tuesday, which is very surprising for this cast, right? Because this cast is usually like watching a ping pong match. But a reminder, the reason why Red is the target now is because people are afraid that he's going to reunite with Cameron. And let's face it, those two can win competitions. So if they work together again, there is the fear that they will just steamroll through to the end, right? Pick people off and make it to the end together. So the reason people are so nervous that Red and Cameron are going to get back together, Red has been sniffing around, trying to find out exactly what Cameron said to throw him under the bus this week. And it seems like he's looking for excuses to get back together with Cameron. So, sure, okay, Red is the target. Cool. But it's way more complicated than that. It doesn't need to be, but for these house guests, it's way more complicated than that. Matt, Sari, and Jared are contemplating messing with the votes here, right? We saw this yesterday. They were talking about making it a 6-4 vote. The breakdown of that would be Sari and Matt voting out Jag along with Cameron and Bowie. And this would just be so they can try and cover their asses with Cameron and Bowie if one of them were to win HOH, because they're nervous that they're going to become targets if Bowie or Cameron win HOH after blindsiding them with this vote, right? Because Red doesn't know that he's the target at this point. They're also hoping that by making the vote 6-4, they hope that the 7 deadly sins would think that Corey and America were the ones that voted to keep Red along with Bowie and Cameron. But that doesn't make sense because everybody suspects Corey and America being close with Jag. Like it doesn't make sense. They're close with Jag. Everybody knows that Red hates America and America's not a big fan of his. So it's a lot. And sure, you'll cover your asses by doing this with your enemies, maybe, if they believe it. But you're going to piss off all of your allies in the process. Lying to them about your vote. Is that really what you want to do? Doesn't seem worth it. But after talking it through, they realize, yeah, it's probably not a great idea. It's probably better to just have the vote be 8-2. And we'll explain to Cameron and Bowie that we just couldn't get the votes together to keep Red at the last minute, so we had to jump ship. The same excuse that they've been using week after week. So yesterday seemed pretty calm. Jag and Red both were confident that they have the votes to stay. They're both getting reassurances from people. So neither of them were really campaigning. I would say Jag was checking in with people a little bit, but it wasn't like his campaigning that he was doing last week, which was a lot. Red, not campaigning at all. So instead, the house guests were filling their day with an eating contest. They were dressing up to play flog, which we learned yesterday is golf backwards. Golf spelled backwards. So yeah, they were having a really chill day. All right. So at one point, Matt and Red were chatting in the have not room. And Matt's like, I think we're on track here for you to stay. Corey and Cameron both told me that they are voting to evict Jag. I mean, that's not true. Cameron, yes. Cameron has made it known he is voting to evict Jag and keep Red. But Matt is really trying to sell that Corey and America are voting to keep Red and voting out Jag. It's like a lot to keep track of. But he's doing too much here. Like, reel it in a little bit. Let's take a step back and let things breathe. So Red's like, so from what you're hearing next week, is the plan still to backdoor Cameron? And Matt says yes. And Red's like, oh, well, I've heard there's a lot of talk about Felicia. Red is looking for any excuse to not target Cameron, right? Even though he's not best friends with Cameron right now, I really doubt that Red would target Cameron. I just don't see it happening. So Red says it's too early to say who the target's going to be. We got to see who wins HOH. There's that chance that Cameron could win. And if that happens, then obviously Cameron's not going to be the target. But he says Felicia would only be the target if the Cameron backdoor plan falls through. Sure. Whatever you say. Matt says that the whole house wants Cameron out. They're all in the same boat on that. And Red's like, yeah, there's probably a good chance that I'm going to be up as a pawn next week in order to take out Cameron. You're not going to be there. You're not going to be a pawn because you're going to get evicted. Ooh, but anyway, he doesn't know that. Matt comments on how calm it is today. Everybody knows what they're going to do. And Red's like, yeah, well, I'm all packed up just in case, but everyone's telling me I'm good. Well, at least he's packed up, right? That's good. Okay. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Suri and Bowie have a chat in the bathroom. Bowie is counting up the potential votes for Red to stay. Remember, we are back to 10 votes this week since nobody went home last week. So you need 5 to tie and 6 to evict. But Bowie is a little bit iffy on what some people are going to do. Mainly Felicia. She's not sure how Felicia's going to vote. Because again, Felicia's been very sloppy this week. Right? She's been all over the place. So Suri's like, well, what do we do if we find out that we don't have the numbers? Are we still going to vote against the numbers? So Suri is laying the groundwork here, right? To try and explain to Bowie why she is flipping her vote to vote out Red. And Bowie's like, no, I don't think we vote with the house. I think we do what we were going to do anyway. This is probably not the answer that Suri was hoping for. But Bowie says, if we stick with our vote, no matter what, it shows we're honest. We're not doing any of this flipping. Oh, there's flipping. But Bowie says, I have heard a rumor that people want to backdoor Felicia next week. And Suri says, yeah, I've heard that it was mentioned, but I don't know where it's coming from. Suri is one of those people saying that. She's also saying if Cameron is not, if they can't get him out, then it's Felicia. Oof. Okay, they used to be best friends. It's crazy. So Suri says Felicia has been talking to everyone outside of their alliance and lying all over the place, lying about everything. She says Felicia doesn't need to be doing all that, right? So Bowie said she's also hearing that she could potentially be a pawn next week to try and take out Cameron. I mean, a lot of people have been throwing her name around for that. Oh yeah, I can't stop now. I'm sorry. And Bowie makes it known she does not want to be a pawn. She's like, why do I have to do it? That's not fair. Have Mimi or somebody else do it. I'm not doing it. Uh-oh. All right. So then Matt comes in and he's saying, I think it's solid for Red to stay. Corey and America are on board. And even Bowie's like, really? They haven't really indicated that to me at all. And Matt's like, yeah, they told me that they're voting for Red to stay. No, it's too much. Stop it. So later, we have Jared, Matt, and Cameron in the HOH room. And we join this conversation already in progress, right? We didn't get to see the beginning of this. But Jared is telling Matt and Cameron, I trust you guys. We need to start figuring out how we want to advance in this game. Because he says, I really see us 3 dudes, being able to steamroll shit. This is not real, by the way. But Cameron says, I don't think we need to talk about a whole lot. I think it's pretty simple what we need to do. So we didn't get to hear more of that. The feed switched. But I just want to remind you, this meeting of Jared, Matt, and Cameron, this was a homework assignment that Suri gave to Matt and Jared, right? Because she's really nervous about Cameron winning HOH and targeting her and Izzy. So she told Matt and Jared, I want you to talk to Cameron and I want you to set something up with him, make him think that you guys are working together so that you can make sure that he does not target me or Izzy. Okay, thanks. So they're doing their homework. A little later, the comic book room is all together. It's Suri, Izzy, Bowie, and Red, right? They've been together since the beginning. whenever they weren't have-nots, whatever. So Red makes a little speech about how awesome it's been to share a room with all of them. What is this? Like, does he suspect that he's going? It definitely had the feel of a goodbye speech. What's going on here? But he was talking, excuse me, about how close they've all gotten. And he really appreciates how Izzy has gone the extra mile to get along with him, because let's face it, they had a really rough few weeks together at first, right? They were not getting along with each other, and they've really made some strides with that. So everybody, agrees, oh, we're so lucky that we all room together. Cirie says, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I've learned so much from you, Red. And you don't hear anybody in this conversation being like, Red, you're fine. You're not going anywhere. So Red says, I've picked up something from each of you guys too. It was almost like the end of The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy was talking about, everything she's learned. So Red was like, I would be lost without you, Izzy, because you're the super fan. I would be clueless if you weren't telling me what's going on. There's a lot of stuff she's not telling you too. Cirie, you bring so much love and care to everything. Bowie, you have such a fun personality. Every time I see you, I want to laugh and have a good time. So they all agree. They feel blessed to be together. They have a group hug. How's Red going to feel tomorrow, though? Is he still going to be giving out these group hugs? Anyway, I think he'll get over it. But I think it is going to be quite a shock to him. So a little later, Matt and Jared have a game chat in the kitchen. And Jared is saying, we need to talk to Cameron again, right? We did not get our goal accomplished here. Yes, we've established things with him, but we really need to get on this or mommy's going to get mad. We need Cameron to know, we need to make Cameron think that Cirie is upset about the votes, right? He needs to think that Cirie is upset that the votes are not there to keep Red. If this is not obvious that everyone's protecting Cirie, I don't know what is. Matt, wake up. So Jared says we have to tell him that it doesn't look like we'll have the votes to save Red. And Matt's like, yeah, I see what you're saying, but we should not do that tonight, right? We should do that on Thursday instead, not long before the vote, just in case Cameron goes into panic mode, just in case Red finds out about it. We need to wait. Okay. So then Jared and Cirie have a chat in the storage room, and Jared is updating her on the progress with the Cameron situation. And he's like, I'm sorry, but we got to wait until the last minute tomorrow to tell Cameron about the vote. He says, Cameron does not think that me and Matt are close, right? He thinks that we're all coming together right now. So if we tell him about this too early, he's going to be weirded out. Also, it's been a really chill day so far. So there's been no evidence of scrambling, right, to indicate that the votes are potentially flipping. So Cirie's like, all right, fine. Cirie tells Jared, I haven't gotten to talk to you alone all day. And Jared's like, I was waiting for you in the HOH room and you didn't come up. And Cirie says there were always other people around, especially Blue. She said, plus, it's too hot of a situation right now, right? People are taking note of who's going in and out of the HOH room. And that is true. We have seen Mimi and Felicia commenting a lot, especially about Izzy spending a lot of time up in that HOH room. She's like, I didn't realize that Izzy and Jared were so close. I mean, they have been this whole time, right? But it's way more obvious when you can see somebody going up to the HOH room to talk to somebody. So Cirie says, Izzy's been doing too much. People are noticing how much time she spent in the HOH room this week. So gotta keep an eye on that. Gotta back off a little bit. So Cirie gives Jared some instructions. She says, when you talk to Cameron about the vote, make sure you let him know that I was on board to keep Red and Felicia was not. Oh, so she wants Felicia thrown under that bus, right? She wants Felicia to be a target in front of her. So back to the topic of Izzy. Jared says that he suspects Izzy is trying to build her little team for the end. That is why she wants to keep Corey and America around longer now. Because before, they were talking about getting rid of Corey and America really soon. But now Izzy is saying, no, we should keep them around. Finally, keep them for a bit. They could be good for us. So she's really changed her tune on that whole situation. But Cirie is frustrated that Izzy is expecting Cirie to give so much of her time to her, right? She's like, Izzy got all pissed because I didn't want to stick around in the HOH room while she was going over all her M&M scenarios earlier. And Cerise says, F those M&Ms. She already showed me the M&Ms. I don't need to go over it again just because it makes Izzy feel good, right? She says, I'm not doing that. Okay. Somebody's not getting M&M sponsorship after this, but Cerise says, I wake up in the morning and Izzy is already like with me. She talks to me nonstop every day, and she's always telling me the same thing over and over again. So Cerise getting a little frustrated here. And it is true. These two are like always together. But Jared says, sometimes, we can take the time to go over our thoughts. He seems to be siding with Izzy a little more on this situation. But anyway, meanwhile, America and Corey. Why is my phone blowing up right now? America and Corey are chatting in the bathroom. And first of all, they agree they are staying up, even though Felicia may get pissed at them. Remember, Felicia made them all go to bed at like 11 p.m. the night before? So they're not doing that. They're not sure if Jag is really with them at this point. I mean, it's pretty telling that Jag has never spilled to them about the Seven Deadly Sins Alliance. If they were his true allies, he would be sharing that information with them. So they know about this alliance from like Jared, it's Ree, Izzy, whatever. But they're not getting that from Jag. So they know, he's not fully with us, right? So Corey says, we have so much information that we can use to win over Jag. But we can't pull that out yet, right? Because it's going to blow things up. We cannot pull that out until we need to. And of course, Corey's talking about telling Jag, like, hey, we know about Seven Deadly Sins, right? And you lied to us this whole time about it. You didn't share it. But we know about it, and that's what's up. So Corey says odds are Jag is probably going to be gone in the next 2 weeks, right? He's got a lot of people targeting him. But he says if Jag wins HOH and he's got to make a choice about who he's going to work with, that's when we spill. America's worried if they wait too long, it's going to look sketchy, right? If they wait until Jag wins an HOH, it's going to look like they're just trying to get with him at the last minute. So Corey's like, no. We're going to be completely honest with Jag. We'll let him know that the group he thought he was working with has been telling us everything, right? We know about Seven Deadly Sins. You didn't know this, but you were the target. So he's saying we would dump everything on Jag, right? We would even talk about stuff from the week that Riley was evicted. No more of the Riley week. It's too much. So eventually, Jared joins America and Corey in the bathroom, and the three of them are joking around. And Jared is calling Corey little bro and like making fun of his flirting with America, saying like, I'm going to teach you some more advanced stuff, blah, blah, blah. We don't need that. But Corey's like, all right, well, where were you at 21, Jared? And Jared's like, I was way more advanced than that. And Corey's like, I don't buy it. You know where I was at 21? National television. So Jared cannot help himself, right? He cannot deal with Corey thinking that he's better than Jared. So Jared has to one-up Corey, and Jared says, I was doing that at 18, actually. Oh my God, give me a break. It's not like you were a contestant on Survivor. You were your mom's loved one who visited the island. Like, give me a break. Anyway, Corey and America are like, wait, what? Where were you? Why were you on national television at 18? And Jared is like, oh shit. Jared says, I was here. I was playing Big Brother. And America's like, whoa, at 18? What are you talking about? So, I mean, you're talking to two super fans here. They're going to remember if you were on or not, especially as an 18-year-old. So anyway, I don't think that's even allowed. Don't you have to be 21? I think one of the exceptions was Danny Donato. Other than that, I don't think anybody's been under 21. But yeah, at that moment, Izzy comes in. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? She probably was like, shut up. But yeah, I'm going to laugh my ass off if Corey and America put the pieces together and figure it out. Please. Okay. Anyway, later, Matt is scheming with Jag and Blue, and Matt is still trying to make this 6-4 vote a thing. After like Sari and Jared decided, we probably shouldn't do this, not a good idea. Matt is still talking about, like, what if we made the vote 6-4? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, he really wants this to happen. And they're wondering, like, how do we make sure that Cameron doesn't target us if he wins HOH? How are we going to explain why we voted for Jag to stay and not Red? And they're wondering, like, can we convince Cameron that Bowie voted Red out? Get real. Come on. So after saying that he was going to wait until today to tell Cameron about the vote, Jared goes and wakes Cameron up in the scary bedroom. Cameron is already in bed. I think he's like face down in the pillow. And he tells Cameron, hey, Felicia's trying to flip the votes to get rid of Red. Ah! He says, she told me that we should change the plan because she doesn't know if she can trust Red. Now, again, the votes have already been established here for Red to go. But Jared is trying to plant this seed with Cameron that Felicia's the one trying to flip the vote so that she will take all the blame for it, right? After it's all said and done. So he's like, Felicia is always doing something extra. And Cameron's like, well, what? What's going on? I just woke up. But he's also like, what do you want to happen? And Jared's like, oh, yeah, I want Jag to go. Duh, silly. He's acting like he wants Jag to go, which we know he does not. But Cameron's like, well, I'm not flipping my vote. You know, Jag has to go. So Jared's also like, hey, also just so you know, Cerie's like pissed off at Felicia now because she's doing this with the votes. But just so you know, Cerie is she wants Red to stay, so she's pissed at Felicia. Okay. Gotta get those talking points in there for mommy. All right. Well, that was all last night. That's not even the crazy part. This morning, this cast is doing the most, as always. So Mimi and Felicia are in the bathroom. And Mimi is bringing up some concerns. Mimi says, I was in here late last night because I've been straightening my hair extensions. And I saw some things that are making me worry. She says, I don't think we should keep Jag anymore. When I was in here, Matt, Jag, Corey, America, possibly even Blue, they were all up for hours last night, late into the night, canoodling with their inside jokes. Matt and Jag were like joking around under a blanket, like not in a sexual way. But she was like, this group seemed really tight, you know? So Mimi fears that group is going to get together with Cameron after Red goes, and then that's going to be a group potentially of like 6. And she says they can make a big move against us, right? They've been wanting to do it, and now they might have the numbers to pull that off. So Mimi says, like, I think we should get rid of Jag. We should take away their ability to do that. And if we keep Red, we can buy ourselves a few more weeks because Red, Cameron, and Bowie will be shields for us. So Felicia's taking this all in, and she's definitely in agreement that they need to get rid of Jag. You know, flip back those votes. So Felicia goes to the comics room to bring up these concerns to Cerie, Izzy, and Bowie, who were all asleep at the time. So she goes in there and wakes them all up. Oh my God. And Felicia's saying, Matt, Blue, Jag, Corey, America, they were all hanging out last night. And Mimi said she walked in on them. They all got quiet when she walked in. And she says, this group is going to try and pull in Cameron. That's 6 people. They're going to come after us. Bowie must be so confused during this, right? Because she's under the impression that Red has been safe this whole time and Jag has been the target. So now she's hearing Felicia argue that Jag should go and Red should stay. So she's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Like, what's going on here? Like, we're keeping Red, right? And Felicia's like, yeah, we should take out Jag this week and then get him out of here. Then we can take out Cameron next week. So we have 2 big threats out of here. So there are a few more conversations, different combinations with all the bye-bye bitches talking about what they should do about this potential flip back. So at one point, Cerie and Izzy are chatting alone in the storage room. And they're like, what is the point of this? They don't feel like Mimi has any new information here, right? They're always concerned that old Riley alliance, the Riley side of the house, is going to get back together, right? They don't want that to happen, but this is not a new concern for them. So Cerie says, I think we should still keep Red. She says Mimi only wants to flip back because Red was talking to her last night and he told her that her name is being thrown around by the other side, by Jag's side. So Izzy's like, all right, well, how do we convince Mimi and Felicia to vote out Red? They seem really like they want to keep Red. And Cerie's like, we don't need them. Let's just make it a 6-4 vote. Matt! So Izzy's like, whoa, wait. Are we ready to potentially sever Felicia and Mimi from us? Cerie says Felicia was already starting it, right? Felicia's been doing a lot this week, and she thinks that Felicia has been throwing her under the bus. So just to be clear with this 6-4 vote, the breakdown here would be Cameron, Bowie, Felicia, and Mimi voting to evict Jag, and then everybody else voting to evict Red, right? So Felicia and Mimi would think that their allies are on board and that they're keeping Red, but they're not, right? They're going to be blindsided. Oh my God. So then at one point this morning, all 5 of the Bye Bye Bitches are in the bathroom talking about the voting situation, and Red walks in. So awkward. So he can tell like something is going on here. So Red and Izzy are chatting in the comics bedroom, and Red says, Felicia seems really worried this morning. Like, what's going on there? And he's like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Felicia's freaking out because she heard that her name is now being thrown around the house. And he thinks, well, Felicia's probably trying to flip this vote on me. But he doesn't realize that Felicia is trying to flip the vote to save him. I mean, not necessarily to save him, but because she thinks that Jag needs to go more. But yeah, he's got it all mixed up here. So, and it's funny because he's complaining to Izzy and Cerie, who are voting him out. So Cerie and Izzy fill in Corey on what's going on just quickly while they can. And Izzy's like, are we ready for 6-4? 6-4 vote? Corey says he's on board with it. He's still going to vote out Red as planned, and they're going to let Mimi and Felicia be on the wrong side of the vote. I feel like this is a mistake. I feel like you shouldn't be messing with your allies like this. Oh my God. So Cerie and Izzy chat alone again, and they are really going to try to play the crap out of this vote, because if Cameron or Bowie win HOH, they're going to plan. They're planning to take credit for Felicia and Mimi's votes. They're going to pretend that they were part of the 4 voting to keep Red. They're also going to say, if those 2 don't win HOH, they're going to be like, oh yeah, sorry, we had to flip and vote out Jag. Or sorry, we had to vote out Red because Felicia was like stirring all this up this morning. So like it was a last minute vote flip. This is a freaking mess. And then, they can tell the 7 deadly sins, we voted with you guys for Red to go. That part is true, of course. But they're pumped at how well this is working out for them, right? Because they were trying to come up with an excuse that they would give Cameron and Bowie, and now this has landed in their laps. But Felicia and Mimi are going to be pissed, though. Oh, my God. So, yeah, Red is pretty convinced that Felicia's trying to flip the vote to take him out. There was an incident as well that is backing this up for him. Red was talking about saving a cupcake for later, and Felicia asked if he was going to eat it at home. Oh my God! Which doesn't make sense to me, because at this point, Felicia is wanting Red to stay. So, like, I don't know why she said that. But Bowie also heard this, and she's like, Felicia is losing it, right? She's all over the place. Again, Red does not realize that the votes have already been locked for him to go since Tuesday, his B-day. And Felicia, again, is trying to flip them back for him to stay. It's crazy ironic. Alanis Morissette could not make this shit up. So as of now, Red is still going by a vote of 6-4. This plan is still holding up even after the HOH lockdown. So he will be blindsided by this vote. He thinks he's staying. Felicia and Mimi will also be blindsided with this vote because they think that their allies are also voting for Red to stay.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
Who's going to eat that cupcake?
I know. Bowie and Cameron are also going to be blindsided because they are under the impression that Red is staying. So it's going to be a wild night. Supposedly, we're going to see the HOH on the episode tonight. So
really,
I think people are going to be going hard for it after they get blindsided by this vote. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be on tonight. So we'll see. But I want to know from you guys, who do you want to win HOH? Also, do you think
America.
Yeah, I want to see America win. Also, do you think that Cerie and Izzy are making a mistake by blindsiding Felicia and Mimi like this. I think they are. I think this is an unnecessary move. They are making enemies for no reason, right? I don't think they should be doing this, but that's what they're going for. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. And I want to thank today's super chatters. Gia R, thank you so much. What a cute little sticker. Darby C, thank you for the super chat. Darby says, these people make me dizzy. I know, right? It's a lot. Oh, yeah. I also just saw somebody mentioning that Felicia was like making a lot of noise in her sleep this morning. Yeah, apparently she had like a nightmare or something. Or like this is a common occurrence for her. Like this is not the first time this has happened in her life.
She's a night talker.
Well, she was all like, "Ugh!" Like it was a lot. It was pretty wild. But she like woke people up. It was crazy. But she said that usually happens when she has nightmares. Anyway, wait until she finds out what's going on. Aaron1121, thank you so much. And they said, love your channel. Try to watch when I can. And this is Aaron's first super chat.
Yay!
Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying this season. Randall Westgard, thank you so much. Love that unicorn. Oh, the lights just flickered. Christine, thank you so much for the super chat. Christine says, please, in America, HOH. Yes, totally agree on that. I feel like she would shake things up, right? She's one of the only people that would shake things up at this point.
Our only hope.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious if Felicia and Mimi would shake things up if they were to win, you know, judging by what happens tonight.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they're going to be like, what the hell is going on here? But I still feel like there's the possibility that Cirie and Izzy would be able to talk their way out of it. So I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be wild tonight. So thank you all so much for watching. We will be back later for the recap. And we'll see you then. So until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.